Um, the recording of this video, Theresa May has just had the 48 letters saying they've got no confidence in her. So this video is about Brexit. A few people have asked me to voice my opinion, so I'm going to give it a go. It's going to be hard work for me because although I can talk and say what I want, I've got to try and do this in the correct manner that doesn't offend people. So if it comes out wrong, I do apologise. I'm not here to defend. I'm not here to offend people. I'm just going to try and give it as I can, right? Just take it as blue van man thought and all that. So she's had the 48 letters voting of no confidence. I personally never really had any confidence in her anyway. The way I can describe how Theresa May and the Brexit thing came about is that she was a Remainer. She was a Remainer and she campaigned to remain. So why on earth the Tories voted for her to be the leader and the chief negotiator for Brexit is completely... Oh, I'm not like Tony Blair there, look. Oh, I don't like that. When he used to do that, and all he wanted to do was like get his thumb and hit it with a hammer. So to have her in charge of Brexit just doesn't weigh up to me, to be fair. I think it was a bad choice. I have nothing against Theresa May, to be fair. She's been in the business for, when she became leader, I think she's been in about 38 years in politics. So your ambition is to become a councillor, party member, work your way up into the cabinet, leader, PM. And I think she's unfortunate with the fact that how it's come around that to be PM, you've got Prime Minister, you've got to be chief negotiator of Brexit. But as she was a Remainer, it's a bit like, in my world, having Noel and Liam Gallagher in charge of Manchester United, right? Noel and Liam, big Man City fans, in charge of Manchester United. It doesn't really weigh up. And to have her in charge of Brexit doesn't weigh up either, so I can't work that out. Well, this is all down to David Cameron and being a complete prick. To be fair, he thought he was being clever. He thought he knew what the country wanted, but he didn't, did he? Now, I know it was only a fine majority win, but when all said and done, they didn't read what was happening in the country with the influx of immigrants and the lack of control, the open borders brought on by Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, because they thought it would be a great idea to have people, British people, living on benefits, doing no work and getting all the immigrants in to do it for them and then let them live off their tax contributions. But what they didn't realise is that the immigrants would also think, oh, no, I don't have to work here, I could live here and still get away with it. So, and I think basically British people got fed up with people going to work, and then while they're going to work, they see others living on benefits. And when all said and done, it was a lifestyle. Some people will probably disagree, and that's their opinion. But anyway, so what I'm saying is now is that Brexit's happened, and because Brexit's happened, as we live in the democracy, it's got to stand. We've got to leave. How I voted is nothing to do with what this is about, right? This is how I now see it after Brexit. Brexit's happened, we've got to leave. I honestly believe that if we had a different leader, it would be a different deal. So we need a stronger leader. So first of all, we've got to get May out. And we've got to get somebody in who actually wants to leave Europe to be doing all this negotiation. Because while that's happening, she isn't really bothered. She is bothered. That's a bit harsh on her, to be fair. She's trying to do the best she can. I would like to think she's trying to do the best she can. God, what if she isn't? What if she is thinking? Can't be doing that. Excuse me, folks. I've made notes here. So if I just write down some things, it'll come back to me in a later. So we need her out. We need somebody else in who can do the job and all that. Because at the moment you've got Jeremy Corbyn saying I can take over. Well, what actually would make him think he could do a better job? I don't understand what he could do that he thinks that would make him could give him a better, better deal. I don't see what proof there is. It's all that. We can all sit here, don't we? We all sit here saying, oh, I could do this and I could do that. I could have scored that goal. I could have done that. Well, there isn't no proof that you could. And there's no proof really that Jeremy Corbyn could actually do a better job with old John McDonnell sitting in his pocket either. So it's a bit hard to say. So this is such a tough subject, isn't it, Brexit? Because David Cameron and that has really made a complete balls up of the whole thing by calling this and then running away like a little spoiled child. So as it stands now then, we need her out and we need somebody in who can actually want to leave, who can actually negotiate with these, because they're all saying that it will affect the trade and all that. And I don't honestly understand. I don't understand. I watch these news programs and I don't understand how it can affect it, because does that mean Aldi and Lidl will stop being shops in Britain? Or does that mean BMW and Audi and Mercedes and Seat and Fiat and all those companies, I know they're just car manufacturers, but does that mean they're going to stop selling cars here? Are they going to lose income on that? Are the French going to stop selling us wine and cheese? Are the Italians going to stop selling us their Italian food? The Spanish going to stop selling us onions and oranges? I know I'm stereotyping there, folks. I know, right? But that's just the easiest way to get it. So I don't understand how they keep going on about trade and the freedom of movement thing, right? I don't disagree with the freedom of movement, right? But what I do think we should have is actually some kind of control. Now, if you've got some bloke who turns up, who can't speak a word of English, and who has absolutely got no skills whatsoever, driving licence, if he's got no history of who he is, where he is, and what he's been doing in his past life, we don't want to know him, right? We've got a lad at work, Mario. No, he's not. No, he's not Italian. He's Polish. And he's on our shift. And I tell you what, he's one of the hardest workers I have ever known. And he picks everything up so good, everything up so quick. He's a real good lad. Now, in my book, he's come over here. And he's quite funny because I said to him about Brexit, and he says, I am a guest in your country, and while I am here, I will do the best I can for your country and myself. What a great attitude, right? So he's on our shift, he does everything, he picks up so quick and everything, he's really good. And then we've got other lads, and some can't even speak English. And I can't work it out why this is happening. You've got to be, if I went abroad to work, I would actually do my utmost to learn the language and fit in with their society. But some just don't. So I can't understand this free movement, yes, allow it. But you've got to have a skill to get in here, right? We've got enough Brits in this country who are useless, who can't do anything. And while we have one able-bodied Brit who is capable of putting his left foot in front of his right foot and walking, we don't need immigration as high and as loose as it is. That's what I think anyway. That's what I think a lot of the British people who voted to leave thought as well. Now, that's not a racist attitude. That's just that's a strengthening of the country attitude. Yes, if you've got a skill, yes, you can improve this country. Yes, you can do a job that others can't do. Come on in. I've got no problem with that. Right. So moving on to my next point now. So that's the freedom of movement, right? Yeah, you're allowed in, but if you've got a skill, you've got to improve the country. But during the build-up to Brexit, you got all these celebrities, Russell Brand, Eddie Izzard, Bob Geldof, that Martin Freeman off The Office, who Sherlock's mate. They're all telling us what we should do and how we should vote. Yet none of these people, none of these celebrities, they're all multi-millionaires. They don't even live in this country half the time. They don't mix in the circles that I mix in, surely. And other people that might be watching my video mix in as well. They're all telling us what to do. They live in these massive houses. They don't live in the country. They're out working. Fair play, they're abroad or whatever. But every time I see one of these celebrities telling me, right, because when they're on my telly, they're telling me what to do and what to think. It just made me go the other way, to be fair. I just wanted to vote completely leave and just say, Bob, these are yours, mate. Russell, you multi-millionaire, these are yours. You know, it's like you go, Martin Freeman, you're great in Sherlock. I really loved you in The Office. I never really watched, that film we were in, that thing, Lord of the Rings or whatever. Never really watched you, but Martin, I've got something for you. It ain't going to happen, son. And that's what a lot of people did. They got fed up with it. I know when I was at work, they were talking about it, and they got fed up with Bob Geldof coming in and doing that. Bob, go and sort the kids out in Africa, yeah? You just go and do that. But I'll tell you something else, Bob. Why don't you go and look after your own family? Because they're all dropping like flies. Perhaps if you're around them instead of spend less time messing about. Yeah? Just a word of advice. You like to advise us. Well, there you go, Bob. There's my advice to you. So, now Theresa May's going and she's come out, she's done this speech, she's now threatening us with Corbyn. Now, I'm not a fan of Corbyn, but I do in a way respect him. He does what he says on the tin, in theory. He's had a few hiccups, but he does. I honestly think he wants to do the best for the country. But he also wants to do the best for everybody else who's not connected with the country and terrorists. So she's threatening us now with Corbyn. But the worst thing is, not the worst thing is, but the thing that's going to happen out of this is hopefully Corbyn doesn't want May to go. Corbyn probably doesn't realise how strong he is with May in power, but anybody else in power will put up a better fight against him because she's weak. She's tired. She's had enough, to be fair. You can see it on her face, and she must wake up every morning thinking, what the bloody hell am I doing this for? I could be at home now in my garden. So she's got to go. And I think the sooner we get somebody out, somebody in, the better. Because she was going on the other day, she's lost this confidence vote, or she's going to lose this confidence vote because of all of what's happening. She's been out there, she's absolutely made no deal whatsoever. It's a bad deal for Britain, and it's just going to cripple us. But we had this thing of the week, didn't we, where there was all these politicians were there, and they're all in the House of the Parliament, and they all went, oh, my speech is better than your speech, and I'm more important than you, and blah, 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 and I should say this, and you should all that. No, bugger off. I tell you what, all you MPs, this is another thing, right? All you MPs, you don't really care. You ain't bothered. You're on your 75 grand plus and all your expenses, where you don't even have to buy a packet of bloody biscuits. Right, you get all your second house paid for because you can't be bothered to. I used to work and I used to have to travel down to London and back. There's people now who work here there's some lads I follow now on Facebook. He's down bloody Tottenham's ground, right? He's got all the way down there, he's away from his family. And then why do MPs think they're so special that they have to have a second house somewhere? And then then we have to pay for them to kick their ass out because they like a bloody toaster or something. It just does my head in. They just don't care. They just don't care at all. So anyway, they're all there doing the speeches and none of them are listening to each other. They're all just there. And bloody Anna Sudbury, she was a rubbish journalist and she's even worse MP. Absolutely rubbish. Don't listen to anybody. She don't care. Another one that don't care. Pathetic. Nicky Morgan, my MP. I like Nicky Morgan, but she's not listened to how the country's voted. You've got to go with the majority, and they should have been sorted. They said, I don't know. I'm just rambling on now. you've asked me for an opinion, and it's hard to say really because, yes, get out of Europe. The country voted it out, and I think really what we've got to do is just get a bloke or a woman in who does want to leave Europe and go over to Merkel and Macron and or what his name is, Macron. Is it Macron? Macron. And Juncker. Juncker, who's he? Another one. Don't even know who he is. What's he ever done? Never done anything as far as I'm concerned. They're all there and they're all lapping it up and they're all taking all the money and our money, right? What we've put into the system, our money, so we can just do something quicker. I don't understand how hard everything can be. Why is politics can be so simple, just made it difficult by complete bloody idiots who like the sound of their own voice. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the sound of my own voice. But sometimes these people just get so carried away. And there's no need for it. In a way, life is simple, right? And you get out of life what you put in it. You go to work, you look to improve yourself, you look to better yourself. And that's the way it is. But these politicians, they're just they come in, don't they? Like, if this happens, right? If this happens, where she loses the no confidence vote and we have a new leader, and then there'll be an election, and all these who are up for the vote for the election, they all come round knocking on your door, they're shoving the crappy leaflets through the door, the dogs are going mad at the window, and they're all, yes, I'll listen to you, I'll listen to you. Then as soon as they get the win, and they're in the house, they just don't care. They block you from Twitter or they block you from Facebook because you wrote something that they don't like, they don't agree. Hold on, I voted for you. You should do as I, well, not do as I ask, but you should at least listen to what I've got to say and then give me the opinion on why you're not going to do it. It's like, Nicky Morgan, I'm saying, why are we sending so much money overseas in aid? Why? Because you'll see that we send money out to India. They've got their own bloody space project. What the bloody hell is that all about? We're sending 300 odd million out, and they're sending bloody satellites and they want to put men on the moon. God, why is things so difficult? So that's my story on Brexit, folks. We control immigration. Audi, BMW and whoever, Lidl and Aldi and all them, they're not going to stop sending us cars and shops and whatever. They're not going to stop because they make money out of us. So why are the EU doing that? The French are still going to send us wine. We're going to still drink it in the bucket load. So control immigration, get out of Europe. Yes, if you've got to pay them to just do something, fair enough. Just pay them something and get off. But we're not going to pay them millions of pounds and then lose a say in something. We're going to come out the oh, what's that thing where the money regulations? I can't remember. Mine's gone blank. I'm fizzing up here. What is it? Can't remember. Just. I'll tell you what, right? I'll tell you what's going to happen after this, right? Brexit. Nothing. Everything will be exactly the bloody same. Nothing will change. Look this video up, put it down as your favourites, right? And I will say, in 3 years' time, nothing has changed, right? Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen to this country when we're out. Yeah? We'll still, just nothing will change. For the everyday person like me and you who watches this, nothing will change. It's like when there's an election happen, nothing changes. My life has not really changed from when Tony Blair was in. Well, I'll tell you what, it has changed because when Tony Blair was in and Gordon Brown was, I was in debt. Now I'm in no debt. But from when Gordon Brown and Tony Blair were in, when we got David Cameron and Clegg, and then Cameron, and then May, my life hasn't changed. Nothing's changed for me. I was made redundant under Brown and Blair, but I've not been made redundant under Cameron and May. So what nothing will, I honestly don't believe, will change. So I'm just going to have a quick look through my notes, folks, see if I've missed anything out. No. Oh yeah, there's a little bit. I'm just going to say that Theresa May, when she had the election, obviously she was about 50 million points clear in the polls and absolutely walking all over Corbyn. And then she called an election, and then her advisors gave her the wrong advice on what to campaign for. And I think they've done it again. Her advisors, I'll tell you what she should do. She could come and see me. I'd advise her. I'd advise her what to do. And I think there's a lot of people out there who'd advise her what to do and all. And I think my advice would be stand up for the country and stop messing about and say, look, you're either going to let me do this or you're not getting anything out of us. Because I still can't see that Audi, BMW, Seat, Spanish and all the other countries, they're not going to just shut the borders up and not do any trade with us. So that was my rambling thoughts of Brexit. I would have liked to have had that more in order, but sometimes you just come on here and you do these things and you just get rid of them, don't you? But hopefully I've not offended people. Hopefully some of you agree with me with what I have thought on that. But I've got things to do now, folks, so I'm going to shoot off out. So get you later. Bye.